Is that what you were trying not to do? Well, like, you had to sneeze? Oh, okay.
90.3 The Rock, WUTK is what you're listening to. Good afternoon, and hello to everybody out there listening. My name is Benny Smith, and hello to everybody out there watching as well. It's UTTV, The Rock Unplugged, that you can catch every Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday night in Knoxville on Channel 194 on the Comcast digital package. Channel 65 on campus here on UTTV. And the song you just heard was Jay Clark from the brand new CD. It's called I'm Confused, Free Beer Tomorrow. Kind of a live version of that, if you will. Jay in studio here with us, and he's got a big week planned. He's got some other performances going on to celebrate all the hard work that has gone into this excellent new CD. Again, it is called I'm Confused. He's one of our finest singers and songwriters, and seems to surround himself with other folks that can play and sing and pick and choose good songs as well. And we love having Jay stop by whenever he puts out a new record. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, Benny. I appreciate you having me in today.
Well, we're glad to have you, man. You're just another feather in our local music hat, and you've got a great CD I'm sure you've been listening to quite a bit. It's called I'm Confused, and it is the new CD from yourself, Mr. Jay Clark. You got to be happy, man. I mean, it's turned out to seemingly a really fine CD. We like it a lot, and going to start playing it a whole lot more now that it's going to be officially released. But how do you feel about it?
I'm pretty proud of it. It's been a long time coming, and those projects are we started recording, I guess, the first week of June, and I wanted to do it here in Knoxville and use Knoxville musicians. So took a few different trips. Couldn't just knock it all out in one 2 or 3 week slant there. But
right.
But we got it done, and I'm proud that it's out, and hope people like it. And I appreciate you supporting it.
You're a guy that spends a lot of time out in the woods, literally, with your day job, I guess you could call it, and then. And you would take a break, I guess, every now and then from that and head to the studio here in Knoxville, which can probably feel like you're stuck out in the middle of the woods some days when you're not quite feeling it in the studio. But I know you went over there to Eric Nowinski and worked with him over there at the are they still called an independent recording
studio? It's actually called Rock Snob.
That's what
Studios.
I thought. Rock Snob Records, Rock Snob Studio.
He's got a great studio, and if anybody out there is interested in doing some demos or cutting a couple songs, give him a call. He'll take care of you.
Rock Snob Studios, Rock Snob Records, and Eric Nowinski doing a great job. Well, it's an excellent record. It's called I'm Confused by Jay Clark, and just it's been an amazing year for releases, local releases in this town. I mean, this town has been on a roll,
yeah, it's
man.
like the music scene in Knoxville's I've came up here in '92.
Yep.
And spent the better part of since then up here. And when I'm not up here, I am.
Yeah.
It seems like, but the music scene here is great. And the stations, a few stations here and there support local music, and the ones that do a good job of it. And really.
How about pulling one off for us? What you gonna do?
I'll do a song. That Cruz Contreras plays with me on the record, and Griffin Cavender from Cherahela and Sarah Perkle sing on. Cool. And this song was I sang at a friend of mine's funeral back about a year ago, and that's not a pleasant thing to have to do. And it was kind of went out and had a couple beers after it was over. And this song's not about him, but the events of that day were weighing kind of heavy, and kind of went away all of a sudden driving down the highway back to Hazel Green, Alabama. So we'll do this one for Cody. It's called Reflectors.
All right, this is Jay Clark, live on 90.3 The Rock and on UTTV The Rock Unplugged. The new CD is I'm Confused. The song's Reflectors on The Rock.
Dark as the sun on a bluebird day. It's like an atheist that kneels down to pray, like a Baptist preacher that drinks a glass of wine over the hands of a clock that don't care about the time. I'm following reflectors, got me to my home. It's been a long day, and I'm glad that it's gone. I'm following reflectors, take me to my bed. I can rest these weary eyes and lay down my head. Like a log on a fire, just won't burn, or a world on an axis and no longer turns. The coming of the seasons that refuse to change, two young lovers that cannot find a flame. I'm following reflectors, got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone. I'm following reflectors, take me to my bed, where I can rest these weary eyes and lay down my head. A defining moment that makes no sense at all. It's like a wide open space, confined by four walls. Like a nation of peace, intent on spreading war, or a tortured prisoner that cries out for more. Following reflectors got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone. I'm following reflectors, take me to my bed, where I can rest these weary eyes and lay down my head. I'm following reflectors, got me to my home. It's been a long day and I'm glad that it's gone.
Great stuff, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
Good
much.
song,
Appreciate
and I can the way you told the story before you sang the story there, that makes a lot of sense. Really does.
Oh, yeah.
And great stuff there. Jay Clark, live in studio on 90.3 The Rock and on UTTV, The Rock Unplugged. The new CD is called I'm Confused, and it's a fine one. And the song you heard right there was Reflectors. And I've had to get up and deliver a couple of eulogies in my lifetime, one of them for my father's funeral, and it is never an easy thing to do. You always want to do your best and put every bit of your heart and soul into it, and I can imagine getting up and singing a song at a
yeah, you kind of want to hold it together, you know, for the family and everything. And
well, I'm sure it was a blessing for them, man.
When it's over with, though, you're ready to go have a beer and let it be.
Talk about the good times. Absolutely, man. A lot of good times coming up. First, I want to talk about some of the folks you surround yourself with on this disc.
We had Wade Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Helped out on a couple songs.
Wade Hill.
Wade Hill. He was playing banjo on that Free Beer Tomorrow song, which we actually cut live in the studio when we did that one. And Mike Seal plays electric guitar and dobro. He's a student here at UT.
Uh-huh.
And Taylor Coker on the bass. And Derek Dickens on drums. Tom Pryor came in, played pedal steel.
Speaking of Everybody Fields.
Yeah, and I don't want to leave anybody out here. Jimmy Davis came in and
out of Memphis.
He drove all the way from Memphis to come in and sing backup on those three songs, and he's driving all the way from Memphis tomorrow to be there Saturday night at the Lord Theater and back me up. So
that's awesome. He's awesome talent. He's played here with you before.
And Robin Ella sings on there as well on a song. So
and
a lot of people involved.
Sonny Smith, man, that guy. He's a monster.
I can't imagine him sad or angry.
Yeah,
you know? In fact, that was actually the first time I'd ever met him face to face. I know his brother, Kenny.
Yeah.
And they actually are their family's from where I grew up.
Oh, okay.
And I'd known Kenny, but that's the first time I ever met Sonny. And Mike McGill, who also sings on the record, I needed a fiddle player, and the one I was thinking of couldn't be there. So he goes, I know exactly who you need to get. And Sonny came in and chopped it up, and we were.
He's amazing.
Like that.
That guy's a monster, man. I mean, he's amazing. Richard Bailey on banjo as well.
I forgot about Richard. He plays with the Steel Drivers and actually a Grammy nominee or winner. I can't remember. I know he's been nominated.
Yeah.
But he's a hell of a banjo player.
Yeah, just a lot of good folks. And, of course, you've got a lot of history there with Robinella and with Cruz, and kind of got started, I guess, musically in this town with them, sort of, I guess.
Yeah, I'd met Robin back in about 95 when we were both students here at UT, and then Cruz, we all three kind of met Cruz at the same time, and I already was playing, just goofing off on the ag campus with a guy that played banjo and a guy that played bass, and we all ended up forming a band called the String Beans.
Yep.
We played around Knoxville here from about 96 to 99. So, and I went off to Oklahoma State for 4 years to work on a PhD, and Robin and them got their record deal. And so I have to give Robinella and Cruz credit for talking me into doing that first CD. They had some, I think they were in between record deals or something, and said, you've got enough songs, you really ought to consider doing this. And I was really not crazy about spending that much money on something I didn't think people would be that interested in, but so it's worked out good. So I have to give them a lot of credit for helping me get to where I'm at
credit
now.
goes to them, but folks apparently are so interested that you've got 2 more CDs after that first one.
Yeah, well, I tell you, it's been a very, very fun deal. I'm completely independent and plan on. I got a sugar mom at home, so I can do this the way I want to.
Bless her heart, man.
Yeah.
He is in studio to talk about and celebrate the new CD, I'm Confused. And it is an excellent record, and 11 fine cuts on here, and all, again, a great example of the great music scene and the variety of our music scene. And you can't pin it down. There is no one Knoxville sound, man. It's just a great thing. And you dip into politics a little bit on this record. But let's go ahead and talk about that. It's the election season, and we can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a great picture of the back of your truck, a wonderful quote from Billy Graham from Parade magazine back in 1981. Says, I don't want to see religious bigotry in any form, says Billy Graham. It would disturb me if there was a wedding between the religious fundamentalists and the political right. The hard right has no interest in religion except to manipulate it. We've seen a lot of that.
Right.
And, I think we still see a lot of that. And it can be a scary thing. We've seen it in other countries with other fundamentalist type religions that literally take over the governments.
Right.
And but you've kind of approached that in song as well, haven't you, on this record?
Yeah, I was really reluctant I thought about that song for quite a while.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I lean towards the left, although I like to think I stand near the middle.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not talking about the song Free Beer Tomorrow here either.
No. The actual title of that song, the whole title, which I think's on the back of it, it's called I'm Confused, Christians lament of how the right wing of the Republican Party has distorted my faith.
Yeah.
And I'm a Christian, and my dad's come Presbyterian minister, and I grew up going through those doors every time they open, and still go when I can. And I don't know, both sides of the aisle have been guilty of using, their various take on religion to influence political situations. But I feel like the last 8 years, the only reason that person was there was because of that sect of the Republican Party, and I know many of them now that have told me they've regretted their vote, and they were voting on 2 issues, and that was abortion and homosexuality, and I have my own opinion about those as well. However, it doesn't drive my politics. And I guess back in 2004, I had someone tell me that more than once that I'd have to answer to God for my vote, or all that crap, and I finally got pissed off enough to write this song. And I'd seen an article too about where have all the folk singers gone. Everybody's so scared to offend anybody politically. And to be honest with you, I'm happy at the level I'm at music wise. I do about 60 shows a year in about 7 different states, and I don't make enough money to worry about somebody thinking I'm stepping on them, because I'm mad. When I wrote that song, I was mad.
Sure.
And there's still aggravated.
There's been reason to be, absolutely.
So it really, although it does have something to do with this upcoming election, it's really my frustration with the previous 2 elections.
Absolutely. Well, I just think it's a much bigger tent than